Oh, wow.
Hey, folks. It's Jerlene, and I'm live. Yes, I'm live again today. If you've been hanging with me today, this is the third time today. Hey, it's political season, people. We got to do what we got to do. We got to do what we got to do to get the information that we can get. I am live with, Mr. Al Austin, Councilmember Al Austin. Can you click on your name and can you add what office you're running for? So if you click on your name, if you're able
Uh,
to do that, I think I can do it for you. I'm gonna do it for you. Don't worry
okay.
about it. But anyway, I got a little artwork going on over here. I finally figured out what to do with all these mailers. Check that out.
I love the creativity. I love it. That's
Check
great.
it out on my Long Beach map. So I feel like I'm doing something useful. So hey folks, it's Jerlene, Talk of the Town. All politics are local. I am live with Council Member Al Austin of the 8th District that is candidate for State Assembly, the 69th State Assembly. Thank you so much for joining. I know you've been out campaigning, knocking on doors, and I know that's really exhausting. So I appreciate your time and giving people an opportunity to learn a little bit more about who you are. I would say I've had the pleasure to have known you for a while, used to be your neighbor for a short period of time. So again, I just want to thank you for your time. We're just going to jump right in. Tell us, what is a state assembly? I've been talking about Long Beach politics. I've been talking about council offices and all these other things, but can you tell us what is state assembly?
I appreciate the question and thank you for allowing me to have this time with you. I've been watching your show for some time now. It's very interesting. I'm glad somebody is actually doing this. But so the state assembly is the legislative branch for the state of California. And just like we'll take you back to civics, high school, there's the executive branch, which is the president, the legislative branch, which is Congress, the judicial branch is your Supreme Court or justices, right? So in the state, the executive branch is the governor, the legislative branch is the state assembly and the state senate, which makes up, there's 80 state assembly members and there's 40 state senators for a total of 120 state legislators for the state. And the state, sets the state legislatures, sets policy, the laws for the state of California, but also directs the resources, the budgeting and priorities for our state. And it's a big state. I mean, close fifth largest economy in the world, and hundreds of thousands of employees, lots of responsibilities, several different departments that run the state of California. So oversight is a big component of what the state legislature is supposed to do. I don't think we do enough of it. Other than making a lot of at least a couple thousand bills a year coming out of the state legislature. I can't hear you.
I have a degree in history, and yeah, you just took me back to a lesson that I think I need all that in writing. I think that's really important that we understand what our government looks like, because I don't think a lot of people know or understand. So thank you for that. How does a state assembly person affect me, Jerlene, that lives here in Long Beach? How does that affect me? Like, why does it matter? Why do I even care? Or should I
Well,
care?
I think number one, I've been a local government official for now a little over 10 years, and I think when you think about policy, you think of governance. Local government is very, very important to your way of life, more so than anything. But most of the resources flow from Sacramento, right? That's where we have a $308 billion annual budget at this point, right? Last year we had a $100 billion surplus. Those dollars are coming back to our local government to address the issues that are important, the critical needs in our communities related to health and safety and obviously public schools and everything else. So, and particularly in the last couple of years, I think, really understood the importance of the state, and how resources were allocated, but also how we responded to the COVID pandemic. It's very, very important.
Um, When folks who are watching, the tagline that I've been using is all politics are local, and or all politics are local, and you are a local Long Beach resident. What has been, and I know 69th is a new redistrict, right? And you're Patrick O'Donnell, former council member, state assembly person, has, I guess, he resigned, not resigned, or
Yeah,
decided not to run again, right?
right.
Is that the correct? Could he have run again if he wanted to, or was he
Yes,
termed
I
out?
believe he had the option for at least two more terms
Okay,
on his to run for state assembly. I think he would have been termed out in 26.
okay. So
So so he decided, hey, listen, I'm gonna hang it up. Well, might have, yeah, 26.
okay. So you're running to fill this seat. What areas does the 69th encompass?
So the 69th is a new district that was part of our redistricting, and encompasses most of Long Beach. It goes all the way up to north, the northern part of the city. We'll say Market Street is the cutoff.
Mhm.
So most of Long Beach, but also is most of Carson, Del Amo, South, and west all the way to the 110 freeway. So, um, and then the city of Signal Hill and Avalon. So it's very, very similar communities of interest put together. And these districts, or these communities, have been nested before. You know, if you think back, the last 10 years, no, it hadn't been that way. But prior 10 years before that, and before that, we had Warren Fiortani, who represented
Mhm.
Long Beach and Carson. You had Laura Richardson. You had Juanita Millender McDonald, Jenny Rapeza,
Mhm.
um, who all that particular uh, district. And so, I think this district goes a little further east than traditionally, but these are communities of interest, very similar interests all the way around.
You just mentioned some pretty amazing people. So you are, I mean, you're going for a seat that has been held by folks that were rooted and grounded in community. Um, and I'm gonna let you talk about your platform in just a moment. Unfortunately, your opponent is not does not feel that rooted and grounded in community. um that checkbox ain't checked. So we'll talk about your opponent in just a moment. I want you to go ahead and share. I know you like we talked a little bit before, and you said some of the things that are really crucial and important for you to be able to address as assembly member is our homelessness crisis, healthcare, and public safety. Can you share some information about those three things? I have your little booklet here. I like the little booklet about this
Listen,
right here. This is so cool. Okay. I'm a little bit of a geek. I like when I like paper. I don't like campaigning stuff, but this right here actually got excited about like flipping the pages like it was like a comic book. So anyway, please share your top three priorities.
well, my top three priorities are really not my top three priorities. They are the priorities of the community. I've been knocking on doors and doing this voter outreach, talking to voters in all of the cities and neighborhoods throughout the 69th Assembly District for months now. And these issues continue to come up in conversations as the priorities of the folks who I'm talking to. And so, one thing that I try not to do is get in front of my constituency as an elected leader, as a representative. And so, getting that feedback is very, very important. Obviously, homelessness is a crisis. It is a challenge. We should be treating it like an emergency. And I think we put in hundreds of millions of dollars into this. We put in tens of millions of dollars just in Long Beach alone, and the crisis continues to grow. Um, I think it's obviously more than poverty and not having enough housing, obviously. These are people who are not healthy. And so when I mention healthcare, I want to put a greater emphasis on mental health, right? Ensuring that we are building capacity to be able to deliver the services, but to meet the needs that are currently out there. We have um, addiction challenges, we have mental health challenges that may have a nexus to the drug addiction, and in a lot of ways they do. And so we need to really, as a state, look at this as an emergency, as a state legislature, um, come together and look at the resources that we have, and really attack this like the emergency that it is. Um, I don't think we have the capacity to deliver with the mental health workforce that we have today. We're going to have to be creative. We're going to have to recruit and ensure that people in the future are looking at mental health as an occupation, but also addiction services, and ensuring that, again, we need to prioritize getting people healthy again. There are hundreds of thousands of people living on the streets of California, literally.
I keep putting it on mute because I have some stray cats that I adopted, and they've been wilding out. It like really wilded out, so I keep putting it on mute. Um, on public safety, how does this fit? And that was number 3,
Yeah,
right?
that was the
Public safety.
third
And
piece. I
how does
think.
that connect?
Well, this is that whole conversation around livability. People want to feel safe at home. They want to feel safe walking around their neighborhoods. They want to know that their loved ones are going to make it home at night, and not have to have that feeling of unsafety. And, I think everybody has examples of situations that have happened in their neighborhoods or in their communities, and we read about things happening every single day. These are all, I think, interconnected. These issues that we're talking about that we really need to be serious about and realistic about as well, right? We have to have adult conversations about public safety. We need to do that. That's and I'm just going to be somebody that is adds a voice to that. I think it's very, very important to have a common sense approach to public safety.
And what does how or what policies does an assembly person set in regards to public safety?
Oh, the post comes through the state legislature. These established the training, the policies, the protocols that the training that officers get come
Oh,
through the state assembly. Bills to um, put sunshine on behavior of officers, the licensing, the certifications for police training, all come through the state legislature, or in statute in the state of
okay.
California. And so there's an enormous amount of power that a state legislator has to impact um, not only policing but mental health services and the professions in which those occupations are under. It's very, very important. It's important work. How long does a mental health professional have to work to get their license, right? Or how long do they have to work to get their license, right? What does that look like? That is also established through the Board of Behavioral Sciences, but it's also um, established through the state legislature. On any given day, a law can be changed to impact
Okay.
how we deliver services in the state of California.
So now I'm going to really put it on you. How will you work with the community in Long Beach to ensure that there's policies that support the quality of life for our community as it relates to public safety? Will you be accessible?
Absolutely. I think I'm pretty accessible today, and it's been my track record of being very accessible to my community. I live here. I enjoy being out in the community. I think that's the best way to lead, is to be in touch and in tune with the people in our community. I'm going to work with every city and their elected officials, but also within that infrastructure, the neighborhood groups, and develop, I would just say, policy committees throughout the district on these key areas, to have good advisors to advise me on policy as a state legislature. Obviously, a lot of my time will be spent in Sacramento, we hope, but we'll have qualified, strong staff in the district, but also um, I would just say that since I've been in office for over 10 years on the local government level, I've been on several regional boards. I've worked with, many of the elected leaders, and even administrative staff in the cities within the district. I have an opportunity to hit the ground running.
Okay, on that, you ready to switch gears now on your opponent? Um, and I'm gonna be just straight up. I have an issue. Oh, we got wait. You live under the airport, the route of
Uh,
the airplanes.
we're good. We're good.
I heard it. I heard it. Um, I have issues with the fact that your opponent, um, in 2018 ran for, I believe, assembly in an assembly seat in Orange County. And then I get these mailers. This is a record of action on homelessness. I don't understand where, and I've shared this. I said, I feel like there's this belief that this position is an entitlement or a birthright. And how is that? I mean, how is this? And there's name recognition. How is that impacting, your race right now? You said you've been in office for, you're going into your third term right now as city council
Mhm.
member. You've been, I know you are a labor leader, and have been. Um, the fact, I mean, Los Angeles Times endorse him. Not that the Los Angeles Times, what they say matter, right? How is this impacting this race for you? Because like I said, I have some issue. I have some issues.
Well, I get it, and yes, Mr. Lowenthal, my opponent, ran for state assembly a few years ago in Orange County, where he lived. You know, he ran a good campaign. He came up short, and I guess he felt like at some point there was in January we looked. He had what, 5 different committees open. Running, potentially running for state assembly in 2022, 2024, 2026. He also had a state senate campaign committee open. He had several campaign committees open, and I think the thought was that he was going to run again in Orange County. And then there was after this new district was developed, and apparently there had been some communication because he and Patrick O'Donnell share the same consultant. Um, there was I guess some convenience. Why not run for Long Beach or in this area? I don't know. You will have to ask him why specifically, but it appears that way. And that it would be an easier track to run in Long Beach where you have strong name identification. Obviously, Congressman Lowenthal is retiring, and you know there's a passing of the throne to his youngest son, Josh.
This ain't no monarchy. This ain't no monarchy, and this ain't no dictatorship. This is a democracy. I'm just putting out. And so folks, if you're watching right now, I am with Al Austin, council member Al Austin. He's currently the council member for the 8th district, councilmatic district in the city of Long Beach. He's running for the 69th state assembly, a newly redistricted assembly district for the state of California. Um, I just talking
Jerlene,
about
you did mention how's it impacting me, and I'll just tell you,
yes.
um, running against an institution in Long Beach, a family with, a lot of success, and I've worked closely with all of the Lowenthal's, and I consider them friends, right? I think it makes it difficult to raise money, um, and people automatically think, well, you know what, you're running against a dynasty. Um, your chances are not going to be good. And so we've been putting together a scrappy campaign. We haven't had to raise, or had the opportunity to raise and get a lot of support out of Sacramento because, for whatever reason, the doors were shut there. So most of our fundraising has been, from friends, family, neighbors, in the community and local, right? I've been able to raise, close to $300,000 as a result of that, but that's nowhere near enough money for a strong political state assembly campaign. Usually these campaigns are going to run you close to $1 million to run a strong campaign, and so we had to make do. But every one of my city council campaigns, I've been outraised, right? At least 2-1 or 3-1. We've made do, and we've been successful, and so we don't. We're gonna fight hard until Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Doing our voter outreach and making sure that we get our message across to voters, and it seems to be resonating pretty well just about everywhere we go. They know already. They know, some of the dynamics of the campaign already, and voters, in many respects, have already made their decisions.
Folks, if you've not made your decision, and I'm really, I'm mindful, and I don't want to tell people how to vote. I mean, I shared, my thoughts this morning on our mayoral candidate. I shared them a few days ago, and then I actually, had her join me this morning and basically let everyone know where my thoughts are, and I'm gonna share them here. Vote out Austin. And I'm saying that for multiple reasons. When we talk about local politics, and really paying attention to who is doing the work in our local community. I know there's criticism against you about your stance on police. They feel that you're pro police. I honestly think that's a mute point. Um, we need legislators and people who are going to set sound policy that's going to protect community, especially when it comes to law enforcement. So, folks, if you got an issue with Al because he's pro police, just sit it on the shelf for a minute, because as an assembly member, he will have more authority to be able to make sound changes in our local community when it comes to legislation related to police. Also, when we talk about like a democracy, we live in a democracy. It's not a monarchy. It's not a dictatorship. And the passing of any position within our community, it's not a dynasty. So I know that many of us, we see the name Lowenthal, and we do immediately connect it with a dynasty. Don't be fooled by the glossy. I've said that multiple times. Don't be fooled by the glossy. I do like Al's book. I might keep this one. Okay. I might keep this one. I might treasure this one. But please, we have less than 2 days until this election is up. For those of us who have your mail-in ballot, on my ballot, Al is on my ballot. He is the first option under the 69th district. A is for Al, people. A is for Al. Just circle it in, bubble it in, folks. I don't see anyone have any questions, but you always can ask folks. If you're watching, you can always ask questions later if you have any concerns. Check out Al Austin for Assembly's website. Also, if you heard him, he was talking about how the amount of money that has been raised by his opponent versus him. You can still contribute. You can support our vote matters. Our vote is the most important. Yet if you are able to make a contribution, like I said, I don't normally do this, people. Yet I do, this is a family man. Okay. This is a family man, and not to say the other man is not a family man, but this is a family man that has been present with his family, and has deserves our support. Um, so Al, is there anything you want to say before we sign off? I really appreciate your time. Like I said, I know it's at the ninth hour, and hopefully, you know, you can pick up some votes.
We've got a little over almost 2 days now to get this done. We're going to be contacting our voters. We need volunteers over the next few days. Make a couple of hours of phone calls to help reach voters. We're taking a grassroots approach. Neighbors talking to neighbors, friends talking to neighbors, families reaching families. That's what we're all about. We want to give equal time to folks in Long Beach, Signal Hill, Carson, and Avalon. We haven't had an opportunity to get over there, but we're looking forward to having some great interaction with the voters in all areas of the district. And again, this has been a fun campaign. I've learned a lot. The best thing about campaigns, I mean, they're grueling, they're tough. This has been almost an entire year of just grinding it out, talking to voters. But at the same time, I get an opportunity to meet new people every day and learn more about the issues and what's on people's minds. I think that makes me a better public servant at the end of the day.
Well, I just popped up a couple things where people have said they've voted for you, and I gave you some praise and accolades. So thank you, folks that are watching. Thanks for your comments. All politics are local. All politics are local. Al Austin is an example of local politics and how there's an opportunity for advancement to represent the community in which he's represented at a higher level. I am for me, I am critical of politicians that move, from one place to another. Yet, like I said, I've watched you over the years, and I appreciate you. Thank you for serving, and you got my vote.
Thank you. I mean, who would have thought that this you know kid from Detroit who moved to California when he was 12 years old, had an opportunity to work in the aerospace industry right out of high school here in Long Beach. That's how I came to the city and got involved early on and haven't looked back. I've had an opportunity to work with so many amazing leaders, but also community members. I want to continue that work and service for the city that has been so great to me and my family, who's poured so much into us. We want to just give back. I think this next venture in the state assembly will be one that will be momentous and one that we will be able to produce results because of the experience that we have.
Well, thank you. I'm going to sign us off now. Don't leave the studio. It's for Jerlene, Talk the Town. All politics are local. I don't plan on going live again, y'all. I might, but please share, react, comment, ask questions, tag Al so that he can respond to you. And don't forget to get out and vote.